It's Michelle here, and I'm inviting you to wake up and live. And today, let's talk about. I kind of had a couple of thoughts, but I think we're going to talk about gratitude. And it's based off of a post that I saw that I totally relate to. And it's where she's like, I could write 1,000 things of gratitude, and it doesn't really do anything for me. So I wanted to talk to you about what I kind of think is some of the challenges with the whole gratitude thing. I totally agree that gratitude is super important and can help you manifest things. I also think that when you're dealing with mental illnesses and depression and stuff, it can be quite a challenge. So I'm going to tell you what I found is helpful for me and kind of what she was talking about. So for her, she finds it a little helpful if she thinks about like what other people do for her or when they tell her what they appreciate about her, but she has a hard time doing that for herself. I think that's partly there's probably some hidden things deep inside, and when you have those deep beliefs, it makes it hard to express gratitude in those areas and believe it. To recognize and appreciate yourself can be really hard. And so that can get in the way of the gratitude practice. Somebody else on that thread actually mentioned that they had done a healing recently, and somehow their gratitude got mixed up with the concept of shame. So a lot of shame came around gratitude, and so they were intertwined. So every time she was doing a gratitude practice, it was actually creating shame for her because they were connected in her subconscious energy, mind, whatever. So for myself, I can list off gratitudes and it doesn't mean much. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm grateful I have this, that, and the other. I have to take it deeper and look at it as, look what God has provided for me. And isn't it amazing that He's given me the van? Isn't it amazing that He's provided a roof over my head? Isn't it amazing that He has provided so much money? I received so many generous gifts this last little while to where I'm being able to pay for the funeral costs without a lot of stress. How amazing is that? And isn't it amazing that my kids have done this for me? And like looking what my kids do for me and have given me, looking for what God gives to me and has given me. And it helps me to look at it a little different and looking at for love and support around me versus thinking of it as, oh, I've got to list a whole bunch of things I'm grateful for. So for me, it's just a slight twist in wording, but it creates the same energy because the feeling of gratitude is actually what I'm feeling, but the listing of, oh, I'm thankful for this, that, and the other, I'm grateful for this, that, and the other, can be so empty. Because I could just be listing off things, but you've got to tap into the feeling of gratitude because that's where the healing power and the manifesting power comes into. So you need to tweak that for yourself. And for me, that means that I am looking at how God has blessed me, how the universe has supported me, how the earth supports me, how my family supports me. And as I keep going, then I can look at myself and see how I've supported myself and how grateful I am for myself. And as I'm going, that energy of gratitude is building. So the feeling of gratitude is there. The gratitude practice is there in that I have created the feeling of gratitude, but it's so easy to just list them without tapping into the feeling. And if you're listing them without tapping into that feeling, you're not getting anywhere. You're just making a list. So you've got to find a way to tap into that feeling. So it can be that you kind of manipulate the wording a little bit and look for the ways the Lord has blessed you, or, kind of tweak it a little bit. The other thing to do is also, if you are struggling with gratitude, look at what kind of beliefs and feelings you have about gratitude. How old were you when gratitude became a problem for you? What kind of shame is there around it? I mean, maybe, I could totally see how there's shame around thank yous because I remember I have a shame around apologies because I remember being forced to apologize when I did not feel any sorrow for what I was doing. And so that's created some issues around the energy of apologies, is because there's this like resentment of that experience there. So I could see how if somebody was being forced to say thank you when they didn't feel thankful, that could cause it. There's also a lot of, if you have issues with God or the universe or the divine, if you have issues with your higher power, it could be really hard to express gratitude, because you're like, I'm really angry at you. I don't want to say thank you to you for these things. So there's something to look at there. Do you have some issues with your higher power that is creating issues with expressing gratitude? If you have a lot of self-esteem issues, it's hard to express gratitude. So you need to do some of that inner work. But gratitude is amazing. But I wanted to address why it can be so hard sometimes and such a challenge for so many people. So, with that said, let me tell you really quickly that my mother's funeral services were sweet. It was really hard. A lot of emotions I didn't expect. Also a lot of that kind of where you just carry yourself and then you break down when you're alone kind of thing is happening. And I don't want to do that. I want to feel my feelings. But I'm super grateful for my belief system. My belief system is that we live on after we die, and that there are better and amazing things that you go to after you die. And I don't know how I'd survive this without that. And so I'm super grateful. Express some gratitude there. I'm grateful for my belief system. I'm grateful for that understanding and knowledge of what happens after we die. And I can't imagine going through this without that. So life is creating a new norm. I'm getting my own, as everybody else is doing their own adjustings to the new circumstances. Sorry about that. As everybody's adjusting to the new circumstances thanks to the quarantine. The quarantine isn't affecting me super bad financially or in other ways. Like I said, I got a physical therapy twice a week. I get my socializing. But I'm having to create my new norm as well. I'm like, here is a huge change that has come because my mother has passed away, and we've lived with her for I don't even know how many years, but we've lived in the house we've lived in for 10 years. And so we get to create a new normal without that. And you know, sometimes that is going to look messy, and sometimes it's going to be amazing. And I think as long as we focus on the positive things, acknowledge negative things, but don't focus on them, we'll be okay. So I'm looking for the way that I've been blessed, and I have been incredibly blessed in this last very difficult month. I love you guys. I will see you next time. I may post a video after my physical therapy Thursday, or it may be next week. I'm not sure yet, but super, super excited to see you guys again, and I love you, and thank you so much for watching. Remember to let your light shine. Be the incredible you that you were designed to be, and I will see you guys next time.